Hello, everybody. Joe Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is, I guess is it Friday? I don't know what it is, but it's definitely well. The market pulled back again today. A lot of fear with the thing that's going on with the Ukraine. So what can you say about that? It it's just one of those things, and that just seems to be a problem. And pretty much everything is kind of pulling back. We are still in an uptrend under pressure. So there you go. I mean, we're still with an uptrend under pressure, but it's tough. I've been trying to pull into the market, but I can't really. The only thing that really seems to be working for me right now are some of the bear trades that I've got going on, and they seem to be working okay. It's sort of the bear trades, and that's sort of where it's at. Let's look at the major indexes. The Dow Jones was down, the S&P was down, the Nasdaq was down, and the Russell was down. So let's just jump on over to to the Nasdaq. We had another weak day at the closing. We did have a rally, but right at the end of the day, the rally got slammed and we moved down. So just looking, basically like a tough day in the market. Here are the other indexes. S&P was off as well. And of course, we talked a little bit of the Nasdaq. It's off about 1.23%, and the Dow is down too. So, boy, everything's kind of falling. Wanted to show you this one. It's called the high-low ratio, and this is the number of highs versus the numbers of lows a day, and we are looking pretty weak here. The high-low ratio. When you see this, we're down below, 0.2, which means that for every high there are 5 lows. So really lots of pullback in this in this area of the market as well. So it's tough to, we may be rolling over here, and if we are, then we want to get into some more of the bear trades that we've been. Here's what I've got. I got stopped out today of I got stopped out of AMD. Can't believe it, but I did. I was down just a tad on Williams, that is of course a oil and gas pipeline company, WMB. Let's kind of look at that one, WMB. I'm long on this one, and I was stopped out. So basically, that's kind of what it looks like here. We came up, we were in the buy zone, we pulled back, and it looks as if this is tracking the Nasdaq Composite. This says UNDQC. That's the line of the Nasdaq Composite, and as you can see, this is right now outperforming the Nasdaq Composite, but it's off a little bit today, up about 8% in the after hours, down 7% in the pre hours. What's going on? We still have a 100% checklist in this one. You can see where I bought. You can see where I bought the full position here. Basically on the 31st of January, I bought a full position at 30.02. So I'm off about 30 cents. So it's basically just stayed even. I bought it right as it moved into the buy zone. So we'll see. On the pattern rack, we are basically just 1% below the pivot on this one. It's a cup with handle pattern, which is usually one of the best uptrending patterns. But the whole market has been very, very weak. We're above the 200-day line, of course, and we're above the 50. I think that the oil and gas is still where it's at in terms of the strength in the market. That seems to be where it's the strongest in this market. So it's but it's just a tough market to trade all over. I mean, it's just really a tough market to trade all over. I wanted to show you one that really collapsed today, and of course that was Roku, and it just wow, it just really moved lower on earnings. Not a not a great thing when it comes to that. Just lower on earnings all over, and just not the there we go, and just not the kind of thing you want to see. And basically, it just plunged. It was going along nice, but it was in a decline. But then it really went into decline. So let's take an analyze it. This one may be still a good short. I tried to short this one today. I mean, I tried to get in on some of the with a bear spread on this one. I did not get a fill on it. So I suspect that the options are overpriced right now, and they probably will be coming down. I think that what's going to happen is we're going to get a little bit of a dead cat bounce here, and then I think it's probably going to head lower. I mean, looking at Roku here, I'm just looking at it, and it looks like, we could be coming all the way down potentially to, it's like 57. I don't think it'll come that low. I think really the next level of support is going to be right about here at about 77. So there could be a lot more damage here with Roku, and that would be all the way down here. I think this is really the support here, about 76, 77. That's going to be where I think we're going to see it go. It's going to rally up a little bit, but then it's going to pull back down. So what I would do, and I may be doing it, is I may be getting ready to short this. It's got to come up to that 21-day line, and then if it pulls up to that 21-day line, that's probably where I will initiate the short. So looking at that, the 21-day line is right at about 121. Let's look at that, make sure that I'm right. Yeah, the 3-week line, 21-day line, it's at 145. Wow, it's all the way up there. Very, very, very far up. So if this thing rallies up to that line, then I think we might have a potential short on Roku. So right now, you kind of want to put this on the short list. That's kind of how I would look at. So Roku is on the short list. And I'm going to be coming out with more of this in the next few days. But Roku is looking like it may be shortable. So this is one you want to kind of put on your, just kind of make a note of this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a note of it right now as well. I'm just getting my little thingy out of let's see if I can. Yeah, so I think this one is a potential short. And I'm going to be putting this one on my short list. See, these are my little notebooks that I keep here. But I'm going to put this one on the short list. Roku. Right, Roku. This is the short list. So we can probably do some shorting with that one. So that's kind of how that one is looking. I also wanted to show you Intel, because Intel is also looking pretty darn weak. Amazing, but it didn't have good report either, and it kind of took a nosedive as well. INTC, of course, is the symbol for Intel, and that one is just looking not very strong. Let's go to the chart, the live chart, and take a look at at Intel. It's got a very bad checklist, which is amazing. I'm going to go to the fundamentals. I want to look at this because I think it just came through earnings. Let's take a look for Intel. And this one, I don't think this one's shortable. I wouldn't short this one, but very, very weak in terms of, their earnings per share down significantly. Look at that, 26% down on those earnings. Ouch. Only 3% up in terms of their sales. Yeah, Intel is a sick one right now. I think Intel, I wouldn't put this one on the short list yet, but it is not looking strong for Intel. Just not looking particularly good. Intel just isn't looking particularly good here. So just not where you want to see it as well. Let's look at the stock of the day. We do have a stock of the day. It's commercial metals, and it seems like there's a general theme going on in the market right now, and that is techs no, hard goods like metals and oils and that kind of thing, good. So that's sort of where we're going. This is almost all these seem to be setting up well. This is commercial metals, and it does seem to be setting up very, very well. It's a blue dot. I want to show you the live chart on it. And basically what we have here, I mean, it's still, it's got a strong relative strength, 93. I'm really liking that. I'm really liking that relative strength. That's a very strong relative strength. we've had some very strong results in terms of sales. Look at that. Anytime you see this, anytime you see a stock going up more than 20% a quarter, that's when you want to start looking at it. The sales have been tremendous. Now, this is just a company that basically buys metal and then melts it down. So, not a very exciting business, really. It's based in Irving, Texas. Of course, that's a suburb of Dallas, basically right next to the airport. So I'm pretty familiar with this company, but it seems to be, at least for right now, it seems to be the stock of the day. It's got a 100% checklist, and the question is, can you buy it at this level? Well, let's take a look at the daily chart to see if there's any kind of entry point. There is a buy point up here at 38.72 on a consolidation base. Now, here's the thing, right in this market, because it's so weak, we don't want to be buying at traditional buy points. We want to be buying before them on basically reversal lines. So let's draw that reversal line in there. I think you could put this in as a reversal line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put reversal line for CMC. And, this is really just as if we can come above this reversal line, then I think, if you do want to be long, you can be in it. We're 27 days before earnings, so we've got some time there too. So this is one that, you might want to look at. It's CMC, and basically there is a 38.72 entry point on this one, but I would try to, if you're interested in this one, I would try to enter it early. We're currently after hours at 36.75, and that is not a bad entry point. The composite rating on this is excellent. It's 98, and this just seems to be just seems to be really good. The relative strength on this is basically at multi-year highs. So I think you got to look at that. Let's look back at the monthly chart. We can see that CMC has never been this high. Look at that. This is the all-time high. We're just about at the all-time high. It did make a high basically back here in 2007, 2008. Sound familiar? And it was right before this big pullback. But this seems to be the way it works. I mean, in 2008 we had this tremendous movement down, and then it seems like the commodities were doing well, and then boom, they collapse. So as long as it stays okay, I guess it's okay. But basically, we're making an all-time high, and this is odd because the kind of things that we're making the all-time high in are things like the oils, things like this. This just aren't very sexy at all. If you want to get our bull call spread on Union Pacific, which it hasn't been doing all that well, you can go to bit.ly/DTF0079 if you want to do that one. Let's kind of check in with that one. I don't think that one did too well today. UPN is the symbol on that. UPN. Okay. Oops. UNP. I'm sorry. UNP. A little dyslexic there. There we go. Union Pacific. Let's see how it's trading today. It's up after hours. What do you know? That's the kind of stocks. This is one of the ones I did have a spread on, and so that's something that we can look at. Let's take a look at the value of that spread. See how we're doing on that one. The after hours on this one, basically, 251 a share on Union Pacific. Let's see if I can pull up a that. Let me see if I can pull up the slides on that one. Let's see if I can kind of check in with this one to see where it's at in terms of the price. And what I'm doing here is that I do these spread trades, and on these spread trades, I let's see Union Pacific. Let's see if that comes up. No, it does not. No presentation. No. Well, I may not be able to do this for you. I thought I was going to be able to. Hopefully there. Oh, no. Okay, well, it's not looking like I'm going to be able to pull that one up, unfortunately. But I do think that with Union Pacific, that is a spread trade. That's one of the only bull trades that I have out there right now. So that's one you might want to take a look at. All right, let's go to some of the questions. Thanks for holding on. Let's look at KHC and see with KHC. So let me pull that up right now. KHC and Kraft Heinz. Boy, this is very defensive. This is a defensive. This is definitely a defensive. Definitely a defensive play here. But we did move above. We bounced and we moved above that 200-day line. I don't think this is it because Kraft Heinz is going to show any great earnings. I just think that when the market gets weird, and it is weird right now, we typically see movement into the consumer staples. That's sort of a safe harbor. So that's probably why this is happening. But I want to check a few other things. I want to check the fundamentals on this just to see kind of what's going on with that, and see if I can, see if that will, see if that will work. So let's go to the. Oops. There we go. All right. So let's go to the fundamentals. Not looking too good in the sales. Actually, the sales are decreasing here. I don't know why this one shot up, but it did. I guess it didn't. I guess sales were down and profits were down, and yet it went up. Boy, figure that one out. I think this is really just a safety harbor play. You know what? I think I think I know what this is. I think this is essentially a short area, but it does seem like a lot of people are buying. So I don't know. I don't know about this one. Jury's still out on this one for me. I can't really figure out why that has, that has gone up. But consumer staples. Are a safe harbor. I just think there's a lot of people out there, in the funds and everything like that, that are trying to get, that are trying to go for something that, that is safer, and that's definitely true because people have to eat, but just doesn't seem like a really great thing. But consumer staples are a safe harbor, basically when you have. When you have a situation like this, where the market is very uncertain, consumer staples are a safe harbor in this time. So that's probably why it went up. I would not be a buyer probably of it, but I think it's interesting that that we do have it. So kind of interesting there. I would probably not be a buyer on Kraft Heinz, though it's I like their products. I like the products. NVIDIA, how low will it go? Gosh, that's the $64,000 question. This is a great company, and it just seems to be going lower. I think it's just the market. I mean, in general, we're looking like just a lot of things are. A lot of things are being very, very stubborn here. I mean, it's boy, look at this chart. It's it's something else. It's something else. I mean, it's it's pulled right down to the 200-day line. The question is it going to bounce below that? It might. It might. We are. It's failed on its. It's failed on its reversal. This was the reversal line. And it looks like it's making downward trends. So what can you say? What can you do on this one? I don't. I think what you got to do is, I would, if you're in this one, I think you probably want to set your stop loss. And for my money, the stop loss is going to be at that 200-day line. I just don't think I'd let it go below that. I mean, even though this has a great checklist, the 200-day line is, I think, where you want to put you want to put your stop. I mean, it's a 229.50. That's really where you want to put your stop. And it's where I would put my stop if I was in NVIDIA. I'm not in NVIDIA right now, but boy, I think that's where So I would NVIDIA stop loss equals, and I'm gonna put it at the 200-day line, because that's really where you have to, that's where you have to defend it, and that is at 229.50. So I wouldn't let it go below that if I was holding the stock, because um, below that, I think that you're going to run into some difficulty where it could fall a lot further. I do think it's going to get support at the 200-day line. That would be my guess. So your stop loss should be at about 229.50 if you have it. Now, remember, the most important thing is, and this is really just, because, you're thinking, well, I've got a great stock and everything like that. And I've done this a million times. The most important thing is, if you have a stock down more than 7%, don't let it move against you. So try to keep it, try to keep the losses down on this one. I do think it's going to get, again, I do think it's going to get, I do think it's going to get, I do think it's going to get support at the 200-day line. That's what I do think it is going to get, where it's going to get support. All right, let's take a question from TikTok. Thank you, everybody, for waiting. By the way, if you are seeing good time DCA with margin funds, I don't know if I'd be on margin right now. I think that's a very dangerous position right now. Let's look at DCA. I don't think you want to be on margin. NVIDIA buy at these levels. I think I'd wait to see if it holds the 200-day line, and the 200-day line for NVIDIA is 229.50. By the way, if you are on TikTok and you need to see the charts that I'm showing, just go to my profile and click on the link, and you'll be able to get right on it. Super easy. All right, let's take a look at some of the other people on TikTok here. Okay, let's see. No Putin. All right. MSM fear mongering. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's true. Here's the thing you got to watch out for when we get into markets like this. You will definitely see, MSM and people like that. They're going to fear monger, and I don't think that's a good thing. But on the other hand, I think being in cash right now is a good hedge. So be careful out there. I mean, I'm trying to be as invested as I can. I'm having trouble finding candidates right now to be invested fully. So it's not an easy market to trade right now, but there you go. All right, let's look at Path, P-A-T-H, and see. All right. Yeah. Okay, this is Unipath. I was in this one, and this one has just been going down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down goes Fraser. Down goes Fraser. Well, I think this one has rallied to the reversal line, but it seems to stay below that. Some buying came in definitely here, but boy, I don't like this chart. I just don't like this chart. This is a downward trending chart. Basically, since since June of 2021, when the stock was 80, it's now 50% worth what it was, back at its high. So you go figure. I mean, it's not good. So at its high, at path high equals 88.50. Now it is 37.04. So so that just kind of shows you how what is going on here with Path. Path just is losing value, and I mean, so basically, Path was at its high back here in June. Looks like June 21. Let's kind of get the exact date when it was at its high. Yeah, it was at its high actually on the May 28th, 2021. It was basically 88. Now it's 37.04. So I would not buy this one unless I liked giving money. So I would not be a buyer of this one. It's just not doing well, unfortunately. Just not doing well right now. So just wouldn't be in this one as we speak. Just wouldn't be in it. All right, let's look at PayPal. PayPal has been hurt as well, and I also want to look at PayPal because we may be setting up for another short on PayPal. I mean, that would be incredible because I've already had a bear trade on it. Did very well on the bear trade on this one, but it just seems like it's trending even lower, if that is indeed possible. And this is PayPal here. We are, we're below the 200, we're below the 50, to the 21, the 10. So we're trading below the 10. This is looking like it is. Yeah, see, I had a bear call spread, and then I did close this for a nice profit, but so that's where I shorted it, right there. Oops. Let's see if I can show you right where I did. That's where I shorted it. All right, that's where I shorted it on the 22nd. I mean, the 27th. That's where we did that, and it's continued to move lower. I probably should have stayed in that. I should have stayed in that spread because it's moved even lower. It's moved even lower, but that's where I did short it there on. But you see, this is the correct way to short it. You want to short it as it comes up to the 21-day line. So now we need to see another rally before we can short. We need to be basically at about this level here before we can short it. 131. Boy, that's going to be tough for it to rally 30%. I don't know if it's going to rally that much, but we want to short it as it rallies to the 21-day line. That's really where we want to short it. And I don't know if we're going to get another chance on this one, but I do think this one is going even lower. Let's check to kind of see where the support is. There is some support if we look at it right at the bottom of that cup there. So there is some support right about here. So I figure it could come down to as low as about 82. So about 20, we could come down to the low as 82 very, very easily. This could easily be shorted. I wouldn't short it as it's moving down. I want to see it rally to the 21-day line, and then I would possibly be a short on it. But this one's potentially short, unfortunately. EQNR. Let's look at EQNR. And let's take a look to see. Oh yeah, okay. I know. I think this is an oil and gas company, Norwegian. Nice. Some of these Norwegian plays have been very good as of late. This is going to be a little bit of a choppy chart because it's traded as ADRs, American Depository Receipts. So it tends to be a little bit choppy in terms of its price. But it's right on the 21, on the 10-day line, 97%. Relative strength. That's great. This is oil and gas integrated. This is a good area of the market. Wow, look at that. 89 checklist. This is a good stock. Would I buy it here? Well, it's right out of the buy zone. I would try to buy it on the reversal on the 21-day line. We're a little bit above that. So if this pulls back, and I don't know if it will, to about 29.25, that's probably where I would be looking to get into it. But this looks very good. It's in a great area. It's oil and gas integrated, number 7 out of 197. So that's something that we really want to take a look at. And this is basically the group. This is the integrated oils. This is one of the best groups out there currently. This group is an excellent group. Currently, this is the number 7 group in the market. And just 6 months ago, this was the 151st. So this has come up. This has improved the most practically of any group in the market. So this is where we should be looking for deals. Well, look at that. We got Petrobras. This is of course the Brazilian company. I want to look at Petrobras because this one could be very interesting as well. I have not played Petrobras. Of course, it's an ADR, and it's traded, of course, in Brazilian reals, and of course, but they're selling their product in dollars, so that's good. So this is a strong chart as well. A little extended. Probably would not buy it here, just because it's extended. But I think this is a super checklist too. So in addition to EQNR, which of course is the Norwegian play, you might want to look at Petrobras too. That's PBROS. PRA. So that's one you might want to look at as well. It's Petrobras. TRO. I think I spelled it right. PET. Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. PETROBRAS. And it's PBRA. And of course, this is the Brazilian giant integrated oil company. But this is one also that you might want to check out as in addition to in addition to the to EQNR. So you might want to check this one out too. Thanks for that. Really appreciate it. All right, let's look at a leveraged ETF. No, I don't think you want to be leveraged at this point. Not in this market. I don't think you want to be leveraged on anything. I know it's tempting to buy like the SQQQ or something like that. Let's look at the SQQQ. Let's just sort of check in on it, see what's not happening there. I would probably not be a buyer of the SQQQ. Of course, this is the leveraged against the this is the leveraged ETF against the Qs, and you can see it's peaked its head above that 200-day line. Remember, this is inverse, so it's looking. Boy, I tell you, you would have done well if you bought this on January, because it's moved nicely since there. So this one, yeah, you possibly could look at this one. This is a way that you can short in. This is the way you can short in an IRA. I don't know if I would take a large position in this one, but you might want to look at this one for a leveraged one. What this does is that as the NASDAQ moves lower, this one will potentially move up. So this is one you might want to kind of take a look at. SQQQ. I don't really have a good entry point for you. I kind of want to wait for it to come back down to the 21-day line. Let's see what that 21-day line is at. 39. Okay, well, it's above the 21-day line. Wow. So this is starting to gather steam. So if we have a bad market and we have a fall in the market, this might be something that you might want to look at for a leveraged ETF. This is called the SQQQ, and it's a 3x. It's a 3x against the Nasdaq 100. So that's something that I don't know if I'd jump into it. I'm not in it, but if I was going there, I would probably go there. Natural gas. They call this I've heard this called the widowmaker, because natural gas is extremely volatile in terms of its price. But there is a natural gas play that I'm in right now. It's called LNG, and it's basically Shanir is the name of the company. And I do like this one. This is, I think, a good way to play the natural gas play, because these people don't produce natural gas, but what they do is that they liquefy it and they put it in ships and sail it all over the world. So this is one, not a bad one to look at either. It's called Shanir Energy. The symbol on it is LNG, and they basically have two natural gas trains. That's the plants that take natural gas and make them into a liquid so they can be transferred easily offshore. This is called Shanir Energy, and not a bad one. I'm in this one currently in the small portfolio, and it has a pretty good checklist for a company like this. It's off a little bit in terms of the EPS ratings, but other than that, 79 checklist, not bad. The technicals are good. It's right below the 10-day line, so probably if you would buy it, you would buy it as it moves above that 10-day line. So if it moves above about 116, that might be a place to buy it. It currently is 116.02, so very, very close to that in terms of the price. That one might be potentially a good bet. It's in the oil and gas transport group, a pipeline group. Williams is also in this one. I know, of course, I do own Williams as well, but let's take a look here. And so this is the oil and gas pipeline. It's Phillips 66. That's probably the best one. That's the partnership. Shanir, of course, that's the. This is also the part of it. And Hess Midstream. Let's look at Hess Midstream. See how they're doing. Check in on them. Because this one also is potentially, if you're interested in the natural gas play, I like the pipelines and transports better than the actual plays themselves. This one you might be able to pick up as it's pulled in the cup pattern. It's pulled down to the 21-day line. This looks like it possibly will reverse higher. I suspect this will reverse higher. That would be my guess on it. That it's going to reverse higher on this one. This is one that I do like. Hess Midstream. HES, of course, is the symbol. Let's take a look at this checklist. It's got a 78 checklist, which is very good. On the technicals, we're just below the 10-day line. That's a good place to buy it. And let's look at the fundamentals, because that's always a tell. Yeah, it's not quite up 20%, but the sales are starting to increase. That's very good. We have nice profits in there. So this is another one that I would look at possibly as a good buy right now. It's in the natural gas area, and it is Hess Midstream. HES is the symbol on that one. So very good on that one as well. Okay, Rocket Lab, Bitcoin. Let's see. I'm just looking for questions that I can easily answer. Look at the space sector broadly if you can. Check out. Okay, here's the thing about most of the space sector is that it tends to be rather thin in terms of SpaceX is a private company, and of course Space, which is a Virgin Galactic. Let's take a look at that. SPCE. This one I made money on this one, but I made money on it recently. And this is Virgin Galactic. Of course, this is the Branson company, the Branson company. But let's take a look. Yeah, this one's that's a terrible chart. By the way, I kind of have it blued out here because I'm like, you can see I was in it back here. I consider buying above that line, but unfortunately, what happened here is we had this situation where the 40-day line moved below the 200-day line. When that happens, that is not a good thing. That is not a good look. That is not a good look when that happens, because that means money is flowing out of the issue. Okay, and that's definitely been the case here. So that's really Virgin Galactic. The space related companies are all going to be in aerospace and defense. So let's see if I can pull up that sector of that. So that's basically aerospace. Let's go to that. Aerospace. Yeah, aerospace defense. And this one, it's a rank of 74, which isn't necessarily bad. Overall, for this particular area, we're down about 2% for the year, which isn't actually that bad when it comes to it. Let's look at the companies in here in this group, and General Dynamics, of course, BAE. Yeah, really, Curtis Wright. Interestingly, that's a really a buster. Raytheon. In the space area, your best bet is really a defense stock, and that's Raytheon. And I think that's right in the buy zone. Yeah, it is right in the buy zone right now. Unfortunately, this probably will benefit if there's a war, and that's going to be the case with some of the space issues. I know that it sounds like I'm off the beaten track here, but really, the rocket area, it's really defense, aerospace and defense, and it is a tough one. Major competitor to it's Bitcoin. Okay, can you look at OP? All right, let's get OP. Let's take a look at OP. Let's see what is Ocean Pal. Oh man, this is a troop. Oh, this is dry bulker. Okay, interesting. Okay, shipping company, dry bulker. Boy, that is it's relative strength of 1. That means that 99. This is almost a penny stock. It really is. Look at that. Well, it's up. I did they have one? How many would they have? Provides shipping transportation for dry bulk carriers with a free 3 vessels fleet. Okay, so this is like Joe's shipping company. Interesting. This is like really small. Interesting. That is very, very interesting. Okay. Well, what do I think about this? Well, I don't really have much to say. It is up in the last 3 weeks. 10 weeks it's down. What is going on with this one? I don't know what's going on with this one. It does have positive earnings, so look at that. What do you know? Huh. This is a very, very thin stock, I think. No, it's got a million volume every day, so that's pretty good. Wow, this is penny stock central. Oh, it's in Greece. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Okay, not a lot on this one. Let's go to the. I want to see what the website says for Ocean Pal. I kind of want to see what that. I want to kind of see what this. I kind of want to see what this is all about. Let me see if I can bring up their website and see. Yeah, I don't know if Ocean Pal. So this is the company here. The company is called Ocean Pal. Never heard of them, by the way. I've never heard of this company, but it is a company. So there you go. Let's see. What do they do? Okay. Well, they're a provider of shipping and services. Very interesting. Okay. Well, I guess this. Oh, there's the fleet. Okay. There's the fleet for Ocean Pal. Our fleet. What do you know? Yeah, that's interesting. That is kind of interesting in terms of interesting. So they're a dry bulker, and they've actually got a stock. Oh, interesting. Well, let's see. What do they got? Okay, they've got the Calypso, the Salt Lake City, the Calypso, and the Protests, whatever that is. Okay. So these are the Panamax bulk carriers. Okay, so they've got two bulk carriers that could go through the Panama Canal. That's interesting. I see. This is interesting. This is definitely interesting. I probably wouldn't be a buyer of this one though. I'll be honest with you. I probably would not be. I probably would not be a buyer of. I probably wouldn't be a buyer of Ocean Pal, but it is interesting. I mean, I will. It definitely is an interesting stock. That is absolutely for sure. Let's look at the monthly. This hasn't been around very long. As you can see, it's just kind of taking a swan dive. It came out at 12, and it's basically at 40 cents. So I don't know. I think it's probably more fun to go to. I think it's probably more fun to go to Vegas than be in this stock. That would be my that that is my that is my opinion, anyways. But thank you for thank you for bringing that up. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. All right. Samuel says Nasdaq has formed a death cross. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let's look. So let's look at the Nasdaq here and bring that up as quickly as we can. Yeah, Nasdaq Composite. That's what we want. And oh yeah, okay. Well, let's see where it formed. Yes, it has. You are so correct. This is the death cross right there. Yep, absolutely, right there. That's where it comes. When it crosses, you see, yeah, that's not a very good sign. That's a sign that we got to go to cash and short. So that is telling me, that is telling me right now. Sets go to cash, go to cash, set stop losses up, and get ready to short. So that's kind of what we're not ready. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. What this tells us is that we have a situation where it looks like we may get that downward leg. We may get that downward leg that everybody thought we are going to get, and so that's telling us a lot. That's telling us, and we did get a rally back here. See on the 126. Notice how it rallies and then it sinks back. So it comes down, it rallies like this, and then boop, it's back down. So it's got weakness here, and we're trading below the 200-day line. When you're trading below that 200-day line, and you have the 50 that goes below it, and it's an index like this, the Nasdaq Composite, that means that money is coming out of the market, and a lot of it. And the Nasdaq is where many of the top tech stocks live. So money is moving out of the market. On the short term, maybe we could take advantage of that with the SQQQ. I don't have this right now. I'm looking at possibly. See, this is trending up right now. Why? Because the Qs are weak. That's the reason. That's an easier way to short it. And if you don't want to just short one stock, you can short the index. That might be a way to go on that. So interesting. It's from the desert. Word how low? Can't say how low it's going to go, but I think it's going down a little bit more. That's for sure. Correctional Corporation of America. You know, these pay prisons. I guess is that what they're called? I'm not really a fan of them because I do think that coming up with a recession, we're probably going to be in a recession. I mean, I don't want to be saying that, but we may be in a recession. I think that tax dollars are going to be relatively short. As a matter of fact, this is one of the reasons why in places like California, they have been releasing people early. So I don't know if that's a good place to be. I really wouldn't necessarily want to be there because anything that depends too much on governmental spending, I'd be a little bit concerned with because with inflation, we're going to see lower tax revenues. And with lower tax revenues, it's going to be harder for them to fund things like this. So I'd be careful. They depend almost entirely on they almost entirely depend on the revenues, the tax revenues. All right, let's look at the gold miners. Now, interestingly enough, the actual bullion gold has been doing better than the miners. That's very unusual. Let's first look at bullion GLD, which is the ETF that covers the the price of gold. It basically, it's basically the price of gold. As you can see, it's been, and I'm going to show you the weekly chart here. It's kind of flat. It's kind of flat. I mean, it's sort of coming up to this buy zone here at about 180. There's a buy point on it. Of course, this is an ETF, so we don't have any of this. But if we go back to the daily chart, it's typically very volatile, but it's sort of range bound. It did move up today. It moved above the pivot. The pivot on GLD, which is this is what tracks the price of gold, 174.67. It did pull above that, but it's immediately starting to get weak. So don't know if that's the place to be. Let's also look at it. There is a gold miner that I really like. It's Kirkland Lakes. Kirkland Lakes. I think is that right? No, I'm sorry. It's KL is the symbol. It's Kirkland Lakes. This is a Canadian company. And did it not go? All right, let's look at another one, Franklin, Nevada, FNV. I want to check in on that. I haven't looked at Franklin, Nevada in a while, but this one's coming right up to a buy point at 150 on a double bottom. Wow, this is not bad. I think in terms of the gold miners, this is one of your best bets. The reason I like Franklin, Nevada better, FNV better than a lot of the other companies is these guys don't actually do the mining. They own rights to other producing mines. And this is a very interesting thing. So this is a great way. It's Canadian gold focused royalty and stream company with over, it's got about, see, this is why it's so good. It's Canadian based and it has it's a royalty trust almost. So this one is probably, if you want to play the golds, this might not be a bad way to do it. It's got a decent checklist, 78. On the technicals, if you're looking in gold, it's above all the major indexes. Now, it's a little bit extended from where I'd like it to be, but it's coming up to the buy point. So this is definitely getting invested in. There's no question about it. You can see this with the relative strength line moving up like this. So very strong. It's got earnings in 15 days, which, that does give us a little bit of time to get a footing here. You don't want to buy them too close into earnings because these things can get whacked in earnings. But if you're looking for gold, if you're looking to buy gold in the in the area, this one I really like. It's FNV, Franklin, Nevada. I kind of want to look at all the other gold miners, and of course that is mining gold and silver. So let's take a look at that group. And oops, come on down here to mining. All right, mining, gold and silver. All right, so let's look at the mining group, and you can see it's sort of been in this downward trend. I mean, it's amazing, and it does look like it's starting to peek its head above the 200-day line. But I really want to see it come above that line before I get interested. You would think that with all the problems, these gold companies would be doing better, but they're not. The best one in terms of relative strength are these Franco-Nevada, which is the one we talked about, FNV, Royal Goat. So let's look at Newmont. Newmont is a big one. And let's look at Newmont. Newmont, yeah, and Newmont is definitely above its 200-day line. So actually, that's looking pretty decent. Yeah, but still, it's these consolidating bases. That's another one you might want to consider if you're into the gold. It would be Newmont Mining, NEM. It's a little bit, it could be bought at this level. It's not a bad checklist, I don't think. Yeah, 78 checklist. So that one might be also a potential if you wanted to do something with the gold miners. All right. And Samuel says, when the death cross indicates how much lower is, it just depends on how deeply the 200-day crosses, but typically it'll go down, 5, 10, at least 10% below that 200-day line when it crosses. So that's something you got to look at. One of my favorites. This is a good stock, by the way. Coca-Cola FEMSA Mexa. This is one of the, this is the Warren Buffett stock. Warren Buffett owns this one. This is the the bottlers. These I think it once said that Coca-Cola in Latin America is some of the most profitable companies in the world. I don't know, something like that. I remember hearing something like that. Their sales are doing good, not as good as some of the other stocks, but the profits are doing very well. So yeah, this is a cash cow. Look at that. Okay, it's got 48 cash flow. Its PE is 15. That's pretty good. 53 is the price on this one. Would I buy it? I don't know. These typically do pretty well, even in percent. By the way, if you really want to play like this, the thing, the ultimate stock, the ultimate depression stock, if we have a bad depression, is Philip Morris, and that is because people will always smoke. That's another one you want to look at if you don't have any qualms about it. I don't own it, but this one, the biggest problem that Philip Morris has is that it has to replace its user base frequently for a lot of reasons. But this is an absolute cash cow. It's got about it's actually pretty high. It's not as good as it was, but look at that. Look at that cash flow. Very nice, and a lot of funds in it too. So if you're interested in those kind of stocks, that's another one you want to look at, possibly PM. All right, and probably this is the last one we're going to do for today. Thank you, Sean, so much. Well, let's take another one from TikTok. I've been neglecting here. Biden is the only trying to hide his son's crimes in Ukraine. Probably true, but hey, I'm not a politician, and I just trade the stocks. I don't make the news. That's for sure. But you're probably right, actually, on that. That's a good thing. That's a good observation, by the way. Brazilian copper, Vale. Yeah, this is a good one too. By the way, copper, anything related to metals, and is going to be doing well in a high inflation environment. And Vale is one of the best ones. Actually, the number one copper mining country in the world, of course, is Chile. But Vale is a huge copper miner. And by the way, they also mine gold because it's part of the byproduct of mining copper. If you can believe it, mine copper, get gold. So there you go. Is this looking good? I was in this one a few months ago. It's above its 200-day line. It did have the death cross here. But see, this is typically right. Samuel, this is probably kind of what we're trying to say. It typically comes down here. This is very typical. It comes down about 10 to 15%, as you can see, when that happens. And you can look at a lot of these, but that's usually what happens is that it will come down and then it will bottom out and come back up. And that's definitely what's happened here. But it doesn't seem like it's going to hold the 200-day line. I'd be careful with this one right now. Just push that up onto the screen so that you can see it. I kind of marked it up here. But this is Vale. This is the Brazilian copper miner. And you can see the 40-day line went below the 200-day line. That's the death cross, and then it's starting to come back up and get strength. So it does seem like it's forming this base. And by the way, that's usually the best place to buy it is when it comes out of the base above the 200-day line. Would I buy this thing? Well, I don't know. 67, probably not. Probably not, but it's very interesting though. Good. It's a good call. I probably would not be buying that one though. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Please, by the way, everybody, thank you very much. Um, by the way, everybody, if you could help me out, I always need help. Help. And that is, I'm like everybody else. I'm begging for those. Please give me likes. so, so please like this. So smash that like button. Don't smash me, but smash the like button. Get me out to more people. We've got over 100,000 people that watch on TikTok. Not all the time. I wish they did. I'd be rich then. And we're growing on YouTube. And I thank you, everybody. Thank you so very much. By the way, if you want to get on the free action trade alerts, and hopefully I'm going to get something out. I've been threatening. I haven't done it. I was sleeping, not working last night. I just took off, caught some Z's. It was nice. But if you want to get on the action trailers, very easy to do. Just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor and first and last name and an email address, and that'll put you on the free action trailers. We're going to be off on Monday, so I just wanted to tell everybody out there we're not going to be broadcasting Monday because the markets are closed. We don't close. We don't typically typically do a show when the market is when it's a holiday. So it will be a holiday on Monday, and but till then, everybody, thank you. Oh, wait a minute, I think I got one more. Thank you very, very much. All right. And what should I say? I will share. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you very, very much, Sean. I really appreciate it. Please, it's my mission to help you make money, because if I make money and you make money, everyone's happy, right? So thank you very, very much for tuning in. Please tell other people about it. The biggest problem in YouTube land is getting people to know about you. So, and I really appreciate everything that you can do on that case. So until we meet again, and again, I'm not going to be doing anything on Monday. Happy trading, everybody, and I hope you have a nice holiday.